Today is Monday, Chav Cheshvan, Tov Shinayin Tes. Chav Cheshvan is the birthday of the Rebbe Rashab, the fourth Lubavitcher Rebbe, Yom Mesugel, an auspicious day. We are on the Mamar of the second day of Shavuos, Tov Shin Yud Gimel, on page Kuf Ayin Gimel. Mamar Vayedaber Anochi, and page Kuf Ayin Gimel, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 lines from the top. The line starts with Chayohi. We're up to the full stop. We're up at the full stop. The Rebbe explained in chapter 5, Ois Hey, the idea of Dibur HaTorah, the level of Dibur of Torah, which is, that he explained that in Ois Daled, and in Ois Hey he explained the way Torah refines Malmayla Lamata, from above to below, without a battle. And in Ois Vov, chapter 6, he started explaining that, following on from this idea that Torah is the bitter, the refinement in a calm manner, without a battle, that explains the Gemara, the Talmud, that says that whoever occupies himself in Torah for the sake of studying Torah, in other words, with the proper intent, with the proper approach, he makes peace in the heavenly entourage and in the earthly entourage. Pamalia shel Maila or Pamalia shel Mata. And he explained in the deeper sense that this means Pamalia shel Maila is a reference to the upper entourage, is a reference to Atzilus, the realm of Atzilus, because that's still in the domain of the Creator. That's why it's called Pamalia shel Maila, the entourage above. And Pamalia shel Mata, the earthly entourage, are the realms of Bri, Yetzirah, and Asiyah, because those already are in the domain of the created. And the Rebbe explained why it's necessary to make peace in those two entourages, in other words, in the heavenly entourage and in the earthly entourage, in Atzilus and in Biyah, because both of them are lacking something, each according to its own level. Atzilus, even though it's godly, it's still the domain of the Creator. It comes about through many tzimtzumim, through many constrictions, so therefore it's necessary to draw down the Ein Sof, the infinite light of Hashem, which is beyond Atzilus, into Atzilus. In other words, in the state of its being, it should be able to handle and contain Hashem's infinite light beyond it. And certainly when it comes to Bri, Yetzirah, and Asiyah, over there it's also necessary to draw down the Ein Sof into the realms of Bri, Yetzirah, and Asiyah, that in their state they should be able to handle that and contain that as well. So the Rebbe goes on, following on from this, and he explains how this works. And he says like this: the idea, he says, is the Hinik Siv. The verse states in Mishlei, in Proverbs, it says, Kamayim haponim leponim, kein lev ha'odam el ha'odam. As in water, face answers to face, so it is the heart of a man to a man. Meaning to say that the heart of one man reflects the heart of another man, like water reflects the image of the face. In the deeper sense, al pichsidus, this is a reference to that there are two men, so to speak. There are humans, and then there is Hashem. There is the created, and then there is the godly. So what does it mean? Who's Lev ha'adam el ha'adam? Which man is the one? Which one is the first man? Which one is the second man, so to speak? What is the pasuk referring to over here? So the Rebbe explains, V'yesh b'zeh beis pirushim. There are two ways of interpreting this. Pirush ha'alef, the first interpretation, shelev ha'adam el ha'adam, the heart of man to man, haynu me'adam ha'tachten el adam ha'elyon, from the man below to the man above. In other words, v'hu inyan ha'Allah mibyala atzilus. In other words, the pasuk, the verse in the deeper sense, is referring to the elevation from ascending from Biyah, from the lower realms, from the earthly realms, La'atzilus, to the godly realms, to the Creator. Meaning to say, we're talking about an initiative from below, an awakening from below, through which awakens a reaction, and it causes the drawing down from Atzilus, from the higher realms, to the lower realms. That's one interpretation. Pirish Abayz, the second interpretation is Shehu Inyan Ha'Allah Mibchinas Malchus Lizo. Right? In both instances, the Rebbe says we're talking about an awakening from below. The question is from which level below to which level above. In the first interpretation, we're talking about going from Biyah to Atzilus, ascending from the created, the realms of the created to the realm of the Creator. In the second interpretation, we're talking about an ascent from Malchus to Zoh, meaning in Atzilus itself, in the realm of the Creator Himself. We're going from the lowest level, Malchus, Lizoh, Ze'erampin, to higher than Malchus, which are in short the Midas of Atzilus. Another, and following on from that, Mizol Lekeser, from Ze'erampin of Atzilus, the Midas of Atzilus, Lekeser, to the crown of Atzilus, which means from the internal dimensions of Atzilus to the transcendent dimensions of Atzilus. And then even higher, Mikeser La'akl Adam Kadman, going from the Keser, from the transcendent, from the crown, from the transcendent aspects of Atzilus to the level of Adam Kadman, which is the first level of godliness after the first contraction. Ulamayli Yeser, even higher from Adam Kadman to even beyond that to the Ein Sof itself. Kigam b'bchinas kilei Adam hu yeshne initial tzir, because even at the level of Lei Adam, there is also some form of tzir. There is some kind of shape to that level of godliness, qualitative shape. The Rebbe basically is enumerating all the levels from Biyah to Atzilus, which is the first definition of Kein Levo Adam Ela Adam. That's from the created to the realms of the realm of the Creator. But then the second interpretation is that we're talking about ascending levels within the levels of the Creator also. In other words, the domain of the Creator. Of course, Hashem is Achdus Pshuta, is a simple unity. There are no separations or delineations, right? But in the levels as Hashem manifested His Ein Sof, His infinite light. So as the Arizal says, I'm just going to say it very briefly because it's beyond the remit of this shiur to go into all these details. But what the Arizal says, that when Hashem decided to create the world, before Hashem created the world, the Ein Sof filled the entire void. So in other words, there is Hashem's very essence, and Hashem caused the manifestation of an infinite light, an Oir. Let's refer to Hashem Himself as the Mo'ir, the luminary. He then caused an Oir, an infinite light, to come into being. That infinite light is infinite, it's Ein Sof, it's Bli Gvul, limitless. And then Tzimtzimus Oir al Atzad, He sort of contracted His divine light to the sides. That's a metaphor, a metaphoric image, where Hashem pushed away the Ein Sof to the sides, and He left a Cholol Makom Panui, a hollow void, so to speak, which was devoid of the Ein Sof, and then He drew down into this hollow and void a line of light, of divine energy from the Ein Sof. That pushing away of the Ein Sof to the side is known as the Tzimtzum Rishon, the first contraction. And then through the Tzimtzum, He drew a line, a kav, a line of Ein Sof, of infinite light, which is the kav hamidah that is responsible. That kav contains within it the entire chain order of creation. Seder Shtalshalos. The first level of godliness revealed after the Tzimtzum is known as Ak, Adam Kadman, primordial man. These are all metaphorical images. So basically, anything from the Tzimtzum and below is la'achar Tzimtzum, after the constriction. Adam Kadman is after the contraction, right? The first Tzimtzum, the Tzimtzum Rishon, which is b'bchinas siluk, in a manner of removal. There are many Tzimtzum that follow, but those are b'bchinas miyut, just a reduction. The first one is known as Tzimtzum b'bchinas siluk, a complete removal, so to speak, kaviyochel. But be that as it may, in the second interpretation, we're talking about going from levels of Malchus of Atzilus. So everything from Adam Kadman until and including Atzilus, Malchus of Atzilus, is still in the domain of the created. These are realms in the domain of the Creator. What is higher than the Tzimtzum, Lifnei Tzimtzum? That's already that's an immeasurably greater level, completely removed of the it would seem, from the the godly light that prevails after the tzimtzum. However, even the Ein Sof Shalifnei HaTzimtzum, that's called Loi Adam. Adam Kadmon in the first level is called primordial man, even though it's a very, very high level, it's machshava, so on and so forth. But still we're using some type of a metaphoric image of Adam. What's beyond the Tzimtzum? Loi Adam. But even that, he says, has some kind of a shape to it, so to speak. Because it's Loi Adam, it's not man, it's not Adam. Right? So in other words, in all these levels, we have to draw down the higher one into the lower one. That's the point. In general terms, it refers to in general terms, we're talking about an ascent, a raising up from Atzilus, the level of Atzilus, the realm of the Creator, to those levels that are beyond it. So that's the awakening, that's the initiative that takes place from below. Kain Lev Ha'adam, El Ha'adam, Shalidei Zeh, through which Nasa Hamshacham El Ma'alam Atzilus B'Atzilus. We draw down from the levels that are beyond Atzilus into Atzilus, all in this manner. From Zot to Malchus, from Keser to Atzilus, from higher than Keser into Keser, from Ak into the lower levels, until even beyond Ak, Adam Kadmon, and then of course drawing down the very essence of Hashem. The point that Rebbe is going to make, I have to finish. The point that Rebbe is going to make, that through drawing down all these levels, the higher levels into the lower, we ultimately end up with the Ein Sof, the true Ein Sof, being drawn down all the way into B'riyat Tzirah and Asiyah. And all that is accomplished through Torah, and specifically Dibra Torah. But we will flesh it out a little more with Hashem tomorrow.